It is Tristan with Nerdette's Newsstand, and today we are going to talk about DC Comics Nightmare Country. I have been meaning to review this for a while, and I know Hooded Justice is a huge fan of the Sandman Universe, so I thought what a perfect time to bring him aboard and introduce him to everybody. So, Hooded Justice, how are you today?
I am doing spectacular. How are you doing, Nerdette?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I love Nightmare Country. I love Sandman Universe as a whole. It is extremely unique and well ahead of its time. So I am definitely enjoying Nightmare Country. Now, of course, we're going to talk about the first two issues. So spoilers to anybody out there, but I absolutely loved it. What did you think so far?
Oh, I absolutely adore it. It rings true to my heart with the Sandman universe, and it's the art style and the story so far is great. And I also want to say I'm a huge fan of yours, and we've been talking about getting together like this for a long time, and finally it's happening, and couldn't be happier.
Thank you so much. I know we were supposed to do Diabolical and stuff, but I'm glad we actually get to talk some Sandman because we see James Tynion, and I love his work. I love Department of Truth. I love what he does with horror. And I think he's underutilized in a way because this feels very like at home to his work. And I honestly I couldn't be happier he's on the title. What did you think of the two different art styles? There was one art style that was done by Paquette, and then the other art style was done by, oh boy, I'm bad with name, Lisandro Estherren.
Well,
They kind of intertwined them. How did you like that different dynamic?
well, the dynamic of them was really great. You had the one, and forgive me because I'm not for sure of the name. The one that was like the clean, really good, like comic book looking art style,
Yeah,
opposed to
that's
the.
Yanick Paquette.
All right, it was really great, colorful. I love how that art style is, and but I also love the scratchiness of the other art style, the Flynn character, and how you see the pencil. You can tell where the pencil is, and it's just the raw cut of it.
And Flynn's a new character, but basically what she is seeing is this blob in real life. Like this huge
Yeah,
blob keeps showing up at the worst times in her life, and she's trying to understand why. But then on the other side, the flip side, you have Corinthian. Now, one thing I was confused about is in the original Sandman universe, we saw Corinthian die. So my understanding, I was going to ask, is this the third Corinthian or the second Corinthian?
it's got to be the third Corinthian. I'm assuming. I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. What's yours?
I think it's the third one also because I was trying to think back to all of the issues, and I think it's the third. Regardless, he's still terrifying, and he's still like,
Oh yeah,
I
teeth for
loved
the
it.
eyes. Yeah, yeah, teeth for eyes. You can't get any more terrifying than that.
Yeah, and I love his dynamic when he goes in. So he goes into the library, right, and he's
Yeah.
able to see it's something new to the universe where he has almost his own section of all of these nightmares people have dreamt up. Like it's terrifying what people dream up, and he is able to relive those, and that kind of fuels him in a way, and it's
Oh
very
yeah.
weird.
Oh yeah. I don't know about you, but some of my nightmares I don't want to relive again at all. So I can't imagine some of the nightmares that are in there from other people a little bit more crazier than I am.
Yeah, and when it comes to, we talked about briefly about Flynn. I like her as a
Yeah.
character. She seems a little bit, she's like writes that line for me of insufferable and charismatic at the same time. Like she feels like your typical
She's
goth girl.
definitely emo esque.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like she's this girl that is, she's an artist and she listens to heavy music and come
Yeah.
on, man. Like she kind of reminds me a little bit of a pick me.
Yeah, the very depressed, writing your journal underneath the tree in the park type of deal. Wearing the long sleeve black sweater in the summertime and everything else.
I like her, don't get me wrong, but like, yeah,
Oh
even
yeah,
one of her friends kind of tells her off in
yeah,
the
but I
second
mean,
issue.
oh yeah, definitely because like he said, she brings it on herself. But I mean, she really doesn't. You look at it
Right.
and you think it's she's an emo and she's going through this depression and seeing stuff. Well, at least that's what she thinks. I'm assuming right now.
Right.
But I mean, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's she definitely plays the whole emo character pretty well.
Yeah, and basically, so in the first issue, just a TLDR, we are introduced to Flynn. and the Corinthian, of course, catching up with him. And then they end up intertwining by the end because the Flynn makes these she's an artist, right? So she paints these
Mm-hmm.
paintings, and Corinthian is interested in them. So they're
I
kind of
think he's
teaming up.
interested in him because he's like wondering what the hell is she dreaming about him when he's not even in her dreams. So I mean that's
Right.
the thing.
So she's having dreams of him without ever having
She
any sort of connection to him. And is that
exactly.
connection the blob? Like, kind of
The,
the mystery of it all.
is the Blob going to be like a Hush figure from from Batman, where he's going to be able to form into anything he wants? Because can be. I know he's got the eyes, and everything else, but is this Blob going to be something that can transform into something? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, somewhat.
Do you remember in the original Sandman series when the two dreams, you had Fiddler's Green get loose, you had uh, Blob, and I forget the other one's name. But do you remember that was the story with oh, I can't think of his name. The little boy, right?
Yeah, where
And
he's in his
he
own
would
universe. Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So in that part, we actually saw Morpheus send them back. Now, do you think this is the same character that was in that part of it?
I mean, that would be kind of like the lore canon going,
Yeah,
if that's what they're going for. But yeah, I would assume that's exactly where they're probably picking up where they left off. Maybe.
I love it. What do you think? Oh my gosh. So we have to talk.
What's that?
Before we really get into issue 2, we have to talk about these new characters because I can't decide if they're nightmares or if they're real fucking people. It's Mr. Ecstasy and Mr. Agony. And they're
Uh,
terrifying. Don't get me
they're,
wrong, but do you think they're real?
if they're real, they're very bad people that is being tormented by some sort of souls to look like that and have pain for the rest of their lives and dealing with whatever they have to do. So if they're real people, they're really fucked up people. But I don't know because I don't know. It's really difficult to tell what's real and what's not in that world. I mean, even on the first couple pages, I think she's the waitress is holding the pot of coffee, but if you look at it, it looks like a human head. So for me, those people could be real or not. Either way, they're terrifying.
Yeah. I like them a lot, and they weren't in it previously, but they're brutal. Like they
Very.
brutally like eyes through the finger socket or fingers through the eye socket. Oh god. Brutal. And I really like the brutality. I'm not gonna lie, like
Like they it seems like they watched Faces of Death when they were kids. I mean, that
oh
shows my
god.
age, but
I, I think I know what you're talking. Is that a TV show or is that a web series?
no, it was a movie or VHS that came out, and it was literally real death on tape, like from different countries and stuff like that. The punishment that different countries go through that is normal over
Fuck
there,
yeah.
that is horrible here.
I remember there was also a website that you could go and look at stuff like that. And I just like, why
Oh,
would you want to?
I'm sure there's websites now you can go look at that
Yeah,
shit.
that's true.
But I'm
So
good. Nah.
I know. I'm good with that one. So we pick up in the second issue, and we actually have Corinthian and Flynn are together. Like you said, they were having coffee, and it kind of does look like a head. I still think I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one, but she's basically telling him about all the different times she's seen this blob with the super
well,
saggy titties.
yeah, but let's not look overlook the fact that he just busted into her room while she's laying there in her nightgown and saying about her paintings. You know what I mean? Sitting there and she's like, about $1 billion. He's like, no. Do you want to buy my paintings? No. And she's like, get the fuck out. It's really weird. But there had to be been some sort of dynamic between the two for her to get dressed and go to a coffee shop while he's sitting there twirling a knife with his fingers. I mean, so something she had to feel
Yeah,
safe with him
any
somewhat.
but any normal person would be like, "Fuck off with
Ex-
this."
exactly. Or wondering about the knife he's twirling in his fingers right there while she's talking to him. It's so there had to have been some sort of what do you want to say, dynamic between the two, or safeness, or
Or
just
she's just morbidly interested.
that too. Yes.
I wonder if so it does show like Flynn going through when she sees this character, and it's always really traumatic times. I wonder if it's some sort of anxiety, like some manifestation of her anxiety.
Yeah, because she said that she, from an early age would dream about stuff and dream about stuff being edible, like candy and stuff like that, and so she dreamed of stuff to get through disasters in her own life or whatever. I'm thinking. So maybe he was, like you said, manifested into something to when she's in this sort of dynamic or some sort of life, however it is in her head. Maybe he shows up and feeds on her depression and anxiety.
Yeah, yeah, that's like it would make sense if they were going outside of just the nightmares and the dreams
Yeah,
realm. If they were adding like another level to it, because we're seeing that kind of in Swamp Thing, they're adding more than just the green. So it would make sense, but we also get, and this I kind of talked about this in the beginning. We get Lucian come back, right? And I
yeah.
love Lucian. He's
Oh,
like
I know.
he's such a cool character, but he brings him back to the library. And there's one splash page, and I'll show it on the
Oh,
when I'm
I know what
done
you're talking
editing.
about. Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, it's nightmare fuel, that little boy.
Oh yeah. The only thing I can remember from that is haunts in my head is him waking up in the trunk and knowing that's how he's gonna live out the rest of his life. That's just fucking eerie. I mean, horrible.
So I wonder, are they showing the little boy from the first one? Is that what it is?
I don't know if that's it or not. I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah, because it seems a little different. And if this is a different Corinthian, he's just doing the same as his predecessors, right? So it
Yeah.
could be very well be something different. I love his. So they go to the library, right? And basically, we get to see Flynn with her friends. Her friends kind of like, I don't believe you. Like, we're good on this, honey. You're
Oh,
kind of telling tall tales.
not to interrupt you really quick, but are you talking about the boy that was in the trunk from I can't remember her name, the girl's brother, where she set out to go look for him?
Yes.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that makes perfect sense now. Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking. Especially, even if it is the second or third Corinthian,
Yeah,
he would have. You would think he would have the memories, right? Like
I'm sure.
of his previous one.
Being supernatural and everything like that, I'm sure, yeah, because I mean he's got to have his past memories to make his new victims even, go through more trauma and worse trauma more than he could ever think of.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I totally agree. But then we see, well, we see the library and all of that, but we see Flynn, and these paintings are going to play an important role because Corinthian wanted them, and now we see Mr. Agony and Mr. Ecstasy show up and burn them. There must be
Yeah,
something to her paintings.
there has to be, but what's the correlation between the lawyer that they killed on there
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
Flynn?
forgot about
Because
him.
yeah, because after they killed him, they said, "Well, who's next?" And they looked and they said Flynn, whatever. And so there's got to be some correlation between whoever they're killing and because they said, that the Corinthian was the first ever to go into the real world and do the killings and everything else. Well, they brought him back, and now these guys are out in the real world killing. So is this going to be like a quote unquote buddy comedy? Not comedy, a buddy.
I don't think it's gonna
you
be a
know, what I
comedy.
mean, a buddy thing where Corinthian and her are going to have to go
I
together
think
and
so.
detective style try to find out what's going on and everything like that. Where Corinthian is actually going to be pointed or painted in a good light.
It's
I
like
mean,
the
as
enemy of
much as
my
you
enemy
can.
is my friend.
Yeah, as much as you can paint him in a good light. That is.
I think you're right because I wonder if, and I can't remember when it comes to the lawyer, had he seen the Blob character?
I honestly don't remember if you've seen
I
the
don't,
Blob character or not.
because I was trying to think maybe they're killing people that
But
have seen that
But maybe
character.
he did because Blob was behind the boat watching the whole thing go to town. Watching the whole murder scene right there. So if he was there, it would tell you that maybe he did see him because he was at the same exact place where they were killing him.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I wonder if that's the connection. If
It
that's why
could
they're
be.
going after people. But why? I don't know. I don't know,
So
but
is it the Blob running loose and they're cleaning up his trail and whoever sees the Blob they got to kill and take care of? I mean, and they're trying to take him out. I mean, is that what we're going for here, or what do you
I don't
think?
know. I think so. I think that's probably what's going on. But I really like, I love the last line when they come up to him. He's like, "My associate would like to have a word with you," and the word is "run."
Run.
Like, that is so good for a cliffhanger ending. Like,
Oh, I know. I seen that when she walked into her apartment and that fire was there. That instantly gave me like a little bit of anxiety. I was like, can you imagine walking into your apartment and being engulfed in flames like that? I mean, and
No.
then those two people at the end that says, "I have a word for you, run." Shit, that.
I like it, but it's like these people are, I guess they probably don't care. They're literally villains. I was gonna say it's an apartment complex. They're killing indiscriminately all these innocent people, but yeah, they probably don't give two fucks.
Oh, I'm sure they don't at all, and it's got to be the Corinthians going to be there to do
Save
something
her.
to save her. Yeah, because I mean, at this point, she has nowhere to run, so somebody's going to have to come in to help. I mean, somebody will.
Yeah, definitely.
Find out for the
I
next episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. I was worried when this was announced. I was excited when it was announced, don't get me wrong, but I was
I
also
was too.
worried that it wouldn't live up to the original because the
Yeah,
original is so iconic, but I feel like it I don't know that anything can live up to that. That's a high bar, but I feel like this is
yeah.
pretty damn close.
This is getting close. I don't know if anything ever will, or if this will go up and then drop down, or if this will surpass, the great Neil Gaiman's Sandman. So we'll have to see.
That's right, definitely. Well, so we are going to wrap up, but make
Alrighty.
sure you guys, did I miss anything? I always forget to ask.
The only thing that I wonder about is in the first issue where she's laying there with her nightclub boyfriend for the night. When he had the nightmare with the Corinthian, it said about taking body parts.
Oh,
So I'm wondering if was he was is this what he's dreaming of, or was this dude a psychopath that did really murder and take body parts for his own well-being? You know what I mean? His own collection per se. So I
yeah,
don't
there's
know. That's
got to
the only
be,
thing I was wondering.
well, there's got to be some sort of connection, right? Like he was a one night stand, yeah, but he was
Yeah.
also having these nightmares. So I bet they do circle around to that
It,
because I
it,
didn't
it,
even think about that.
it'll probably show 3 or 4 different stories, and then in one issue they'll just combine, boom, and just combine it. It'll all come to fruition.
That's right. In James Tynion, we have faith.
Oh my god, yeah, really, for real.
I love it. I love it so much. So make sure you guys subscribe to Hooded Justice. His channel
Hell
name
yeah,
will
please.
it will be in the description. You guys can definitely check him out. You will enjoy it. And
Everybody
make sure
will be welcome to the hood.
that's right. And we will definitely be covering the rest of this series. So make sure you guys are subscribed here. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you again so much, Hooded Justice.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was really great. I can't wait to do this again.
Awesome. See you guys later. Bye bye.
Peace.
I can